Okay. We are back. Oh, scrolling. Let me zoom out a bit. Makes things a bit easier. Okay. Man of Tanyang. I don't know what that means. But in any case, welcome back to Torment, Ties of Numenera. And we had died and got back here. I need to remember this primarily for myself because it's been a bit since it's been actually a few days in real world time that I've actually played this one. I need to remember. I died, came back here. We have a quest from Salimari. You're Salimari. And we have Calestige, but we're missing Algrin.
I'm ready.
And nothing else I can click on. So basically I'm just kind of like looking for things to click on, people to talk to. So yeah, we need to go find Alarian because I'm not just going to leave him around. So let's talk to the men of Tanyang. This priest is tall, thin, and dressed only in black. Narrow slashes of oil decorate his unlined skin like letters in an unknown tongue. His eyes are harried but alive with intelligent humor. They land on you with a tiny flicker of recognition. She's back. I wonder what brings her now. This Min of Tanyang. Oh, there's a guy. I'm sorry. Hello, Calestige. Here to work or just visit? And with the husk, I hope this isn't a long-term visit. Just a bit of business. Have you ever heard of anything about a resonance chamber, Min? We're looking for a way to repair one. You're what? I thought that thing was a myth, and you're trying to repair it? Where is it? And he's thinking, was that what she and Salimari were working on? I'd love to see that. It's in a dome in a reef of fallen worlds. The blue tide raised a tiny amount. Oh, tides. Tides represent something, like the indigo tide. I forget what the fracking blue tide is. I think it has to do with intelligence, I think. But I remember the indigo tide has to do with like social justice, truth, and something else I forget. But there's actually 5 of them, so like I said, it's been a few days. This is like the 5th, I think, maybe 6th. Yeah, it's the 6th right now that I'm recording this on. So yeah. Really, he says. Amazing. Do you have a piece of the machine with you? I have a shard, if you want to take a look. Organic and crystalline. It was grown in the appropriate shape for the machine. This is definitely what Salimari was working on all those years with her partner. Or all those years ago with her partner. He looks at you with eyebrows raised, but he does not say more. Reluctantly, he hands it back to you. And he's thinking, it must be her then, but why lie? I'll ask Salimari about it later. In all honesty, I'll focus on more traditionally powered machines. Salimari has some experience with organic machine construction. You might ask her about it. Okay. So then tell me what this machine is about behind. Pardon me. Oh, it makes levies. The guardians of Sagas. He rubs his chin. Our records say that the fracking hell. I'm gonna be butchering these names, by the way. So if I don't hold it against me too badly and stuff. Anyway, our records say that the Diavacu found a similar device in the ruins of Archipelaza, maybe farther to the north. He convinced the city that a local version, a modified one, would be of use. In order to become a citizen, everyone in Saga's Cliffs, even the ones born here, gives a year of lives to the machine. It uses that borrowed time to create a levy. What if someone only has a year to live? Would they die the second they enter the machine? The gold and blue tide weighs a tiny amount. No, he frowns. They never die in the machine, but it catches up with them a few days later. That doesn't happen very often. Sometimes I think the machine actually saves them, prevents them from meeting whatever fate was in store, but not always. At any rate, the levies created by the machine are nearly identical and only last a year. After that, they quietly return to the machine and dissolve into... His hands grip the air trying to frame words. Gray gunk. It's incredibly unpleasant to watch, but they don't seem to mind. Fascinating. Dominant tides have shifted. I don't know what the frack that means, to be honest with you. It is, and nothing is wasted. We use the same gunk for the next levy. He frowns. Good thing, too. I have no idea how to make more gunk. You know, tangle up in cords. Anyway, that's the machine. Any other questions? Nope. I think that's all, actually. Come back anytime. And nothing I can click on.
Fine.
Sinerf. Slouched before you was a figure clad in a dusty, unremarkable robe. Loose folds of rough cloth shift to reveal a vaguely humanoid form with elongated facial features and 2 elaborate biomechanical arms. You can't help but notice the size, the shape, and even the number of his digits, changing as it tinkers with a bizarre-looking device on the table. He glances up at you, its eyes the size of your palms. You realize it's a Visiant, a being from another world. Okay. Greetings, fellow sentient, it says, nodding with studied respect. I'll be with you in a moment. Its mechanical fingers can contact and dance independently over the surface of the device before it, adjusting and tightening. There. I am Sinerf, guest of the Order of Truth. What brings you to my workspace? Yeah, I didn't quite catch your name. How do you pronounce it again? Ah. You are hearing a brief elation in my name, correct? A majority of the component syllables are untranslatable or are beyond human ranges of hearing. I will try to approximate them. It draws in a deep breath. Senegra, I should not have asked this question. Senegra, with a brief poem about ambient temperature, dust, and moonlight. Here. Gothus, the word that describes a color similar to blue, Ramanaroth. It shrugs. I prefer the name you people hear. My name is all too common where I come from. I see. Those arms are interesting. How do they function? I am not quite sure, it says, raising them for your inspection. Extra digits whirl out of the mechanical palms in a somewhat nauseating wave and disappear just as quickly. They seem to be sentient, as if either of us but obedient as long as I keep them busy. Otherwise, they scramble about while I rest, touching things, picking locks, strangling the odd rodent. I force them to take up knitting. Cool. Lan Uring, which I can't pronounce. The thin young man smiles hesitantly as you approach. You notice a small metallic ovid protruding from his skull, nearly hidden behind his disheveled hair. The fingers of his left hand tap nervously on his leg as he speaks. I'm not a real priest yet, he blurts, then blushes. If that's what you're thinking. Usually visitors don't talk to me because they think I'm a priest, but I'm still a novice. So, what's your area of study? What? He says, blinking. You want to know what I'm working on? Are you sure? Why? Is it particularly complicated? I don't think so, but people usually get impatient or angry, or they laugh. But I'll tell you if you really want to know. Actually, I'll take him up on the offer. Might as well. I'm designing an intelligence, he says. But not the normal kind. Not just metal or what with independent intelligence rigging system. No, it's larger than that. Stronger. Lan himself seems to be getting stronger, rising as he speaks. You hadn't noticed it before, but he's actually taller than you. The idea is this: an intelligence that can find, test, identify, and fully understand Numenera. We can unlock the secrets of lost civilizations. Do you understand? If we do this, we can actually break the chains binding us to the past and turn them into reins with which to steer the future. Well, that seems useful. No one interesting hurricane testing in Numenera on themselves anymore. Wouldn't having a machine test in Numenera take all the fun out of playing with them? Actually, I'm gonna go with wouldn't having the machine test in Numenera take all the fun out of playing with them? Red tides rise a tiny amount. That's exactly what Min said, he sighs, dropping his righteous fist. His feverish gleam slowly fades from his eyes. But it's only a theory for now. I don't have the funding, and not yet. I've been studying machines with Min when he can spare the time. He likes my ideas, even if he thinks they're impossible. He looks away. I think he's disappointed with that I'm not a real Aeon priest yet. He's thinking, I should have the money by now. I was told that they keep paying me even after the first time. Impossible seems harsh. And inaccurate, he says, regaining some of his lost fever. Once I'm an Aeon priest, everything will change. Only the full Aeon priests have access to one of the Order's funds. I can use them to build a full prototype. Min might protest, but he'll understand once I get the design right. He licks his lips, they're almost dry. They're dry, almost leathery. I just need to get it right, that's all. What's that implant on your forehead? Oh, it's not just my forehead. Not just the skin, I mean. It's bonded with my skull. He blinks at you a few times before he realizes he hasn't answered your question. It keeps me awake and alert. I don't get tired until it runs out of power. Actually, what power is it? Dominant tides have shifted. I still don't know what that means, actually. Dreams, he says. The scarier ones, the better. Scan thoughts. I can't remember the last time I had a good dream, actually. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. And the blue tide rises a tiny amount. What do you need to become an Aeon priest? You have to make a major discovery, he says. A mystery that's remained unsolved for a long time. But I've spent too much time on my own research. He looks down at his feet. I haven't gotten anywhere. I haven't really discovered anything. So I can't use the first one. Well, so I'm just going to say, never mind. Right, farewell. I need to come back to this guy once I'm going to see, I kind of want to see what happens there. But let's get going. You know, I have absolutely no idea how long I've been recording either. This desk is cluttered with scrawled notes, piles of paper, and worn books. The owner was either extremely disorganized or left in a hurry. Let's examine papers and books, see what happens. Blah blah blah. Somewhat bad match. Could be connection here. Leave it alone.
All right.
Oh, same thing.
With alert.
A massive leathery flesh sags against the railing. Sharp probes are stuck into its skin, surrounded by... Okay. A small wire-frame pyramid sits on the base of polished wood. Lying inside the pyramid is a dull sphere of silverish metal. Examine the frame. The frame seems to be affixed firmly in place. It's constructed of an organic material grown in a manner similar to bone or coral. Thinner, vein-like strands of material wind across each of the triangular sides. Something strikes you as odd about it, but you can't quite determine why. I'm gonna try use perception and try to figure out what seems odd about the frame. I think I have a better chance than she does, doesn't she? She actually has a better chance of discovering it? Seriously? Let's see. Stats pool spent on effort restored. It's critical success. Stat pool spent on effort restored. Well, I think that means I didn't spend any points on the effort, I guess. Anyway, while examining the frame, you try to nudge it gently, and it shifts in a most peculiar manner. You focus on moving the frame in their various directions and discover that it can be easily lifted straight up off the base and lowered back down onto it. But it refuses to move laterally, even while being held in midair. Let's examine the sphere. Suspended in its wired cage, the sphere is almost perfectly sized to fit in your palm. Pardon me, the gaps in the whirly mesh are large enough for you to reach through, but not large enough to pull the sphere out. Let's examine the base. The base appears to be made from a slab of lurid red stone. Upon closer inspection, you recognize it as petrified wood of some kind, and an inscription has been written on the base in front of the pyramid. Let's read the inscription. The inscription is in an alien language. It has been burned into the wood and filled with a luminous substance. Though you know you haven't seen the language in your in your own short life as a cast-off, it still seems familiar. I'm going to try Animasius to recall the language. Sure. A distant memory surfaces. You're standing before a large metal cylinder that looms a meter or two above your head. The cylinder is in a time capsule of sorts. You're convinced that what lies within is critical to your latest experiments. The problem, alas, is that the capsule is locked, and the only clue to opening is a series of strange glyphs etched into its sides. Glancing around, you see dusty tomes, faded banners, metal scraps, and dozens of other projects, all featuring the same strange glyphs. You spent a lifetime collecting every trace of this language that could be found. Decades of study have finally led to this moment. You look upon the glyphs, and you know they're meeting. Stepping forward, you reach up to the cylinder, as prescribed by the etchings, and it flares to life. Shaken from memory, you look down at the inscription and realize its meaning is now clear. The crimson dawn greets the seeker. The violet dusk sees the search's end. The crimson dawn greets the seeker. The violet dusk sees the search's end. I have absolutely no idea what that fracking means. So I'm going to touch the sphere. As you extend your hand toward the sphere, the thinner strands along the front of the cage react toward the thicker frame edges, creating an opening large enough for the sphere to fit through. Let's take the sphere. You pull the sphere out of the frame through the opening facing you, and it immediately begins to glow a scintillating blue. You pause a moment to make sure that there are no other effects, and then try to put it with the rest of your belongings. At some point during this motion, the sphere simply vanishes, only to reappear within the frame, once again a dull gray. Apparently taking the sphere will not be quite so easy. And then I'll leave it alone then. Okay, let's leave.
Go.
It's actually interesting. Okay. It's like a portal of some kind. Towering above you is an enormous archway of metal and synth. Energy pulses through the structures, spilling from thin, transparent panels in subtle shades of gold and cyan. Well, let's examine it, I guess. It appears to be dormant, but very much alive. The archway emanates a low and constant hum. Just at the edge of your hearing, across the top, illuminated words are inscribed, "The House of Empty Time." Heavy rope-like cables connect the archway to the ancient device nearby. And I will leave it alone because I have no intention of using it. Okay, map. Are you map? You are map. Okay, scene transition, see location, merchant, party member, blah blah blah. So, how about we go over here? You can't move from map. Okay. So come over here.
I'm ready. I'm going.
I'll just talk to this merchant. We've been in negotiation with this mad Viciant for over 3 hours with him. Ah, not so good. I see clarification of a strange matter.
Yes.
You know, I actually did this so you wouldn't be standing the person I wanted to... Oh, we'll have to tell the person. Never mind.
Ready.
So much to click on. So let's come in here. It's a very interesting fountain. Blah blah blah.
Yes, child.
This woman seems to be absorbed by what she's doing. Her blue eyes narrowed in concentration. You realize that she's the nicest looking person you've seen in a while and feel almost compelled to approach her. She shakes off the golden cloth she's examining and holds it up to the light. Such beautiful colors, she murmurs. It would look lovely on you. Who are you? My name is Alison Pierre. You can call me Ellerson, if you like. She offers a tentative smile. I'm a Kurgion. A Kurgion? But mostly I work with children. You know, healing the scraped knees and the occasional broken bone. We're lucky here in Sages that there's really anything more serious. She's thinking, so many children need my help. Too many. What are you doing? Waiting for an appointment, she says with a tentative smile. Alright, farewell. A tall, thin, exquisitely dressed older man stands in the shade of an exquisitely crafted stall. The cut, color, and quality of his clothes are a symphony of harmonious coordination, while the expression of a benevolent condescension he gives would be more at home on the face of a king. Good afternoon, he says, bowing slightly. I am Sangolin, and this is my store, Sangolin's Fittings. Welcome, how may I be of service? Actually, I'd like to see what you have to sell. Okay, what do you have? Shield, which might be actually useful. How much money do I have? I don't have any. I don't have any money. Um, that could be useful. Blah blah blah. Which is sad, because I don't have enough money to buy stuff. Petitioner. I'm assuming levy or guards is what I'm assuming. Are all of those circled around here? Sigyn. This woman is dressed much like the levies who flank her, but unlike them, her expression is sober and alert. Her hair is cut short, and the corners of her eyes wrinkled with crow's feet. A little swarm of mechanical drones circles her, buzzing messages in her ears. She whispers replies in return, and every so often, one of them whisks away, disappearing into the city. What is it, citizen? She pauses, eyes darting to your tattoo and then to your face. No, you're the one they call Adan. I heard you were in this city. You sense a sudden weariness in her. It has been 10 years since your last visit. I was too young to know then, but the drones remember. What do the drones remember about me? Dominant tides have shifted yet again. The silver tide rises a tiny amount. You keep to your own affairs, but everywhere you went, the city held its breath. People deferred to you. Even the ones with power and influence. You looked the same as you do now. Exactly the same. And I want to know why. And if you don't mind telling me, I want to know what you're doing inside just now. Scan thoughts. The stories of timing are troubling. I have to keep an eye on this one. The silver tide rises a tiny amount. Let's see. I'm trying to escape a creature that's hunting me. Smoking tendrils, grasping talons, a towering nebulous shape. She sees the look on your face. I've seen it, but only through the eyes of a drone. Not long ago, it killed a man in the streets. A man with the same mark you bear. If anyone else knew, there'd be panic, even if it's only hunting people like you. I haven't told anyone, not even the council. Another drone swoops past you, stopping in just short of the woman's head. It unleashes a series of raspy buzzes and squawks. She whispers something to it, and glances back in your direction. Was it what you wanted? I have to ask, what are those drones? They carry my orders to levies all over the city, and they bring reports from the levies back to me. She reaches out her hand, and one of the drones buzzes something unintelligible. A few years ago, the Aeon priest found them buried underground and brought them back to life. I learned their language, so our conversations are safe from prying ears. What's this? Who are you, actually? Sigyn, captain of the levies. I'm not a levy myself, but I command them. Well, what are the levies? She gestures at the two burly, smiling men on her left and right. They look identical. They look like identical twins. Soldiers in the council service. They keep order in the city. Every citizen is required to raise a levy for their city's defense. The price is a year of the levy. The price is a year of their levy, or their lives. Wow. The price, every citizen is required to raise a levy for the city's defense. The price is a year of their lives. So how are the levies raised? Anyone who lives in the city can become a citizen at 16 years of age, or the equivalent if not human. There's only one requirement. They must step into a machine at the order of truth. It takes away a year of the citizen's life. It uses that year to create a levy. She lowers her eyes. She lowers her voice, seemingly for the benefit of the levy standing beside her. And that 1 year is all the levy gets. When it's over, they die. The levies seem awfully happy. A smile and a pleasant demeanor could have had 100 explanations, yet this whole city is fooled by them. I know the levies better than anyone else, so the truth is plain to me, though I'd be lying if I claimed to fully understand them. Are you sure the levies aren't happy? They only seem so. They're not. I have other questions, I think. What's this building behind you? How is it that you don't recognize a seat of government? I know you lived here for a time. And she's thinking, I must learn more about these cast-offs. Something isn't right about them. To tell the truth, I've lost my memory. Indigo tide raised a tiny amount. You've lost more than that. I've seen images of you through the eyes of the drones. 10 years ago, you moved so differently. Carry yourself like a king in the steadfast. You've lost your soul. Or gained one. And she's thinking she's not who she was. The pain, I understand all too well. I don't mean to be harsh. Thank you for being honest with me. She waves a hand at the doors behind her. The council meeting meets in there. A representative from every slave family. What? Slave family? Seriously? And some from the guilds, depending on who's in favor. Hardly anyone goes in through the doors, though they're just a formality. Most people have other ways of getting inside. And out. I'm gonna leave. I'm going to stop this video here. I'm going to be playing more. I haven't even gotten all the map, have I? Yeah, I still have a few things to uncover on the map. I have to go over here a bit. I don't know where Allegrin is. I need to go remember. I know they told me where Allegrin was, but I don't remember.